Hello and welcome to Rising Stars. I'm Vikram Oza. Now, there's no taking away from the fact that a travel experience today gets very localized when you pick a homestay instead of a hotel. Locals guide you about the lesser-known aspects of that destination. You get local food and, of course, there's a unique living experience there. Homestays are growing and so are the number of startups venturing into them, sometimes as aggregators, sometimes as managers of these properties. One such is SaffronStays, a startup that curates vacation homes. And Devendra Parulekar is a founder. He's joining us on Rising Stars. Great to have you with us.
Thank you so much. Thank
so
you for
what was the thought, Devendra, when you started out looking into this space? Because I know that you have a background in cybersecurity.
Yes, I do.
And this was a big leap of faith that you were making. But obviously you saw a need gap over here in the hospitality space. What was that?
Absolutely. So on all our vacations that Tejas and myself, Tejas is my co-founder and my wife, we used to travel across the world, drive around with 2 children. We found that the experience of staying in a chateau or staying in a large villa or staying in a bungalow was something that we really loved or looked forward to. It was very comfortable for my wife as well, for us as well, with our 2 little kids. And we saw that, okay, this needs to be replicated in India.
Okay.
So in India, we found a huge need gap out here where there were hotels, fancy hotels. There were good homestays, decent homestays, but nothing in the sector, in the segment in the middle.
Okay.
Where you have creature comforts are taken care of. There are a few luxuries which are thrown in, right? And at the same time, you have your exclusivity and privacy as maybe as a family. And that's where we started our aggregator model, the SaffronStays.
You started out as an aggregator.
We started out as an aggregator and quickly realized we actually wanted to be the clone of...
This was back in 2014?
2014.
A clone of?
Airbnb.
I see, right.
But very quickly we realized that that's not going to get us anywhere because we're not creating too much value for either the homeowners, nor we're creating too much value for the
And there's no stickiness there.
There is no stickiness there. And that's precisely where we said, okay, let's shut down all the 2,000 plus homes that we had acquired over a period of 9 months to 1 year.
Right.
And we pivoted to one single property, which we started running, managing, operating, branding. This was a small, lovely, beautiful 1885 built Parsi bungalow, a British colonial bungalow in Matheran, that we restored ourselves, right? We restored, the 2 of us, Tejas and myself, we literally restored that property, and today it just won recently an award, a heritage award, Outlook Traveler award.
And yet that's not the business model that you opted for, because now I know that you're in the business of acquiring properties that are owned by HNIs.
Yes.
You don't essentially look after the entire process of rejuvenating the property, but you do supervise it.
We oversee
but
it.
But the task is of the homeowner itself. So what is this business model you've created?
So typically high net worth individuals who own these homes or industrialists who own these homes, they probably haven't visited their homes for a long time.
Okay.
And that's where we find that all of these homes that come to us are probably requiring that last finishing touch.
Okay.
Right? And that's where we come in. We bring in our panel of architects. Sometimes even conservation architects. So if the property is a heritage property, if it's a luxury property, then you need that kind of a touch being given to it.
Right.
But then we work along with the homeowners who incidentally put the capex to actually bring the house to global standards or hospitality standards.
Right.
We get the right staff, we train the right staff, we bring that hospitality magic in the house. And that's when we actually contract with the homeowner and then launch the home over a period of time.
So the investment is that of the owner, and you are bringing in the entire expertise of
the soft part
of raising it to the level of a SaffronStays home,
absolutely,
so to speak.
Absolutely.
The entire process, how long does it take? How long do you turn around a property so that it comes into the market the way you envisage it?
So anywhere between 4 to 6 months are spent in actually curating the entire experience.
And how much does it cost on an average to bring it up to par?
Yeah, so anywhere between 10 lakhs to 40 lakhs is the cost of actually bringing a particular house to global standards.
Right.
Having said that, I must tell you that out of 20 homes that actually come to us, we eventually select and onboard only one.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
So there is enough demand over there. How do you kind of see this? Because obviously, as far as demand goes, you are dealing with a B2B clientele, because these are people who have homes that you'd want to partner with. And obviously, there is a customer base that you're going to reach out to so that they can come and use these properties. And there is your B2C Connect over there as well.
Yes.
So on both these sides, what is the demand-supply situation?
So if I examine this very carefully, when I look at the supply, which is the actual homes, we started out slow and we said, let's build this business organically. We never actively solicited homeowners. or their homes to give their homes to us.
Okay.
But we found that the word of mouth on the supply side was very, very powerful. Happy homeowners started bringing their like-minded friends, other CXOs, other industrialists, and other similar community. For example, the Parsi community, we have now like almost 6 homes are Parsi-owned homes.
So they're very close to Mumbai, and you've kind of concentrated on the western region, and you have about 40 odd homes in your portfolio right now.
Right now.
So in a span of like, 3 years or so, you've added about 40 homes. So is that the rate that you're happy with? Because obviously the offerings will need to go up if this kind of clientele that you're reaching out to that needs variety and needs new places to go to and nice places to live in while they're there, if that is to be satiated, then you'll need to work at a much faster pace, I would imagine.
Absolutely, you're right. So our first year was spent in the aggregation business. The 40 homes that we have now so far is in the last 20 plus months. So now we have a rate of addition of almost 4 to 5 homes a month.
I see.
Yeah, and a steady pipeline which can ensure that even if we don't raise money, we should touch around 100 homes by the end of December.
And what are the average revenues per home that you're generating, at least as of now?
So it depends on the location.
Okay.
But an average of 1.5 lakhs per home is what gets generated as top line. But there are homes, if you have a home in Alibag, it's significantly higher.
Right.
If you have a home in Lonavala, Khandala, it's significantly higher.
Right.
But the further you go away from the captive city like Mumbai, so even for 3 hours or 4 hours, the demand starts dropping, the income generating capability also starts dropping. So closer you are, the more your traction.
Devendra, I would imagine that expansion is going to be top of the agenda for you, whether it's about increasing that supply that comes in and being able to turn them around in a way that would work as a SaffronStay property.
Yes.
How do you plan to do this? Because you've been bootstrapped and you've spent about 1 crore, I understand, so far in terms of your own money.
Yes.
But why have you not opened this up? And I'm wondering if the rate of expansion would be faster if you had gone out looking for funding anytime earlier.
So you've hit the nail on the head, Vikram. Our plan as SaffronStays is now to go in for a round of funding.
Okay.
The reason why we were bootstrapped so far and the reason why we were wanting to prove the model to ourselves was we wanted to iron out everything in the model. Okay? So in the last 2 years, the product market fit established. We also realized that the demand is insatiable. Right? Anything and everything that you throw, which is of reasonable quality, which is of good quality, the SaffronStays quality, just gets lapped up by your customers.
Okay.
You try booking something on saffronstays.com, you will find for the next 3 weeks, 4 weeks, long weekends, everything would be booked out.
Right.
Right. So which told us that now we need to take the leap of faith to actually start expanding our teams. So our step 1, we started, we opened an office in Bangalore. Step 2, we opened an office in Goa.
Right.
Right. So the step 3, the logical conclusion is to raise a good round so that now we can actually fuel this expansion and take that growth capital to take the business to the next level.
And you've kept your business asset light for the most part.
Yes.
You have about 10 to 15 people who are actually the core team, but other elements of the business are outsourced.
Yes.
That must really help to kind of keep your costs under check, doesn't it?
Absolutely. So the capex is put in by the homeowner. The entire model is asset light. We do a revenue share arrangement with the homeowner.
Right.
And
what is the typical revenue share that you do with the homeowner?
Oh, that's proprietary. So,
so it can change.
It does change. It
I
depends.
see.
Yeah,
but don't you have a range that you work with?
Yeah, anywhere between, say, 30% to 40%
Okay.
is with SaffronStays.
Right. And I know that 80% of your business comes through your own website. And there's 20% that obviously comes through the other OTAs. And that, I'm not sure whether you want to kind of bridge that gap, because there you don't get any SaffronStays branding if a property that SaffronStays is putting out in the market is going to be booked on, say, a Yatra or a Make My Trip or an Airbnb even. You don't get that kind of branding. So what are you going to do to kind of make sure that the market is actually coming much more towards the SaffronStays website?
You know, if I tell this to the revenue head of a large hospitality chain in India, he will pat my back and say, how did you achieve that?
80%?
Yeah, 80% by your own brand, because that means that the value is created and established in your own brand.
Yes.
And
without marketing.
Yeah, and while I love and I do appreciate the value that OTAs bring to the table,
yes.
As a brand, we're not entirely dependent on them. Yeah, as a brand, we generate our own business.
Right.
And one of the reasons is, if you look at the decision making that happens for a stay that happens on SaffronStays, because it's a large bungalow, because it's a large property, there are 10 people involved.
Sure.
Unlike an OTA, the names that you took, where a couple is on the, husband, wife, or two of them are on the website. This decision is not being taken on a yatra. This decision is being taken on WhatsApp.
Right.
People are sharing the links, and that's where somebody like me comes in, because it's a larger brand.
Right.
Links are being shared of, these are the 6 homes. I think this meets our requirement. Let's shortlist.
Right.
And the booking happens in that manner.
Correct.
So, and that's the reason why the brand is what contributes 80%.
And I know that you position your offerings as family vacations.
Yes.
What is the typical demographic of the kind of clientele that you want for SaffronStays?
So typically the clientele is 27, 28 plus. These are families, these are groups of friends. So, for example, your office colleagues, that's family to you.
Yes.
Right? Your MBA alumni network, that's family to you.
Right.
Your children's PTA friends, the parents of your children's friends, that's family to you, because you go to the same school, the same income strata, the same geographical location, right? So you start bonding with them.
Sure.
Right? So today our understanding of what family is far beyond blood, right? Blood relatives.
Yes.
And that's exactly the sentiment that we are tapping into. That now these are your new families. These are your families that you want to bond with.
Right.
It's very interesting, but if you look at even the homes and how we curate experiences around in the homes, we ensure that we facilitate, we identify centers of gravity in the house.
Sure.
Right? So it's not...
And they also have to be designed as such in a way that families can coexist, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, there is that kind of privacy between the families, and then there are the common areas too.
And we find that probably the people go into their bedrooms only 6 hours in the day. The entire day is spent in the verandas and the courtyards and the living rooms and the open spaces playing games.
Right.
Right? And enjoying with each other. And that's why our brand, SaffronStays, where families bond.
Right. That's fantastic. It's a good journey that you've launched yourself on.
Yes.
We wish you great luck for the future, and we'll be checking in with you to see how the business is doing.
Thank you very much.
Devendra, thanks for stopping by on Rising Stars. There'll be many more entrepreneurs on this show, but for the moment, we'll take a small break. Be back with more.